everyone, Happy New Year and welcome back to Fistful of Feminism. My name is Monica and today I want to talk about Star Wars. Oh, I said that I always have like so many toys to play with in all my videos. So if you have not seen the newest Star Wars movie, The Force Awakens, please look away now. Just stop watching, just press like stop and then just come back after you've watched it and then you'll be okay. So yes, there are spoilers ahead. So I have been a Star Wars fan ever since I was a very little child. I'm wearing my like Hoth-esque jacket today, mostly because I'm cold, but it also worked. And I've got like my Rey inspiration hair. There's 3 bumps back there. It might not look like Rey's hair, but you just have to use your imagination because I'm not good at hair. I would be wearing this or my other Star Wars hat if I didn't work really hard on this mediocre hair. So yes, I have been a huge Star Wars fan for pretty much as long as I can remember. And when I first heard about this new movie coming out, my mind instantly went, oh no, prequels. So I was really scared that the new movies were gonna be in like the same vein as the really terrible prequels. So I kind of went into the movie thinking like I'm just not gonna think anything, it's just gonna be great and I'm gonna have lots of fun and whatever happens, happens. Well, it turns out that the new Star Wars movie is one of my favorite movies ever. And the new movie, The Force Awakens, actually did some really great stuff in the realm of feminism. And that's the moment when everyone's like, oh my god, she said feminism in Star Wars, she's trying to ruin it, oh my god. Yeah, I guess if you don't want to hear about the feminist aspects of the new Star Wars film, then I guess I am slightly ruining it for you, but I think it's kind of a good ruin, and maybe you should just like not consider yourself a fan anymore. So I will be talking about some of the plot points from the film, so again, here is your spoiler warning. After this point, I cannot worry about you anymore. And here are some of my favorite things about the new Star Wars film, The Force Awakens. So let's talk about my new favorite character, Rey, and representation. Rey. So Rey is a female kick-ass superhero. For a very long time, I did not really feel very represented in the Star Wars universe. Of course, there was Princess Leia and the completely ruined character of Padme in the prequels, but there really wasn't a very strong voice and force, see what I did there? Behind a female character before. It just kind of wasn't there. And now with the creation of Rey as this really kick-ass character who knows how to take care of herself, doesn't need to be saved, and is the newest character that can wield the Force, which is something that we'll probably be hearing about a little bit more in the other films. Rey is a really amazing character. She's portrayed by Daisy Ridley, and I think Daisy did a really amazing job as Rey in this film. And the important thing to remember here is that representation is key. So when women have someone that they see that they can latch on to, they think represents at least some part of them, there's something that awakens inside you, that you see yourself represented before you in a way that you've never have before. The first thing that came to my mind when I saw Rey in The Force Awakens was, oh my god, that would be an amazing cosplay. And I'm pretty sure that that's gonna be like the #1 cosplay at conventions for a little while, but it was like, oh, I could do that, I could be that. We do have to acknowledge though that Rey is a white woman, so that does not mean that every woman is going to be represented by this one character. And she is most likely cis, most likely heterosexual, most likely, and not even most likely, portrayed as able-bodied. There's lots of other things that go into this, but it is a step in the right direction to have more nuanced characters in the Star Wars universe. I have seen some amazing photos online of young girls in Rey costumes, and it just kind of warms my heart that there is now this character that we have to latch onto that is so awesome, and we can, you know, think about her backstory and think about if she's connected to the other characters, if she's part of the families, whatever. But the important thing to remember is that Rey and representation in the Star Wars universe, especially as maybe a Jedi in the next coming films, is so important for all the viewers. So, yay, Star Wars! Also, in the same vein as representation, our leads are a white woman and a black man. So I remember when there was a bunch of controversy about there being a black stormtrooper all over the internet, and A, that was like the most ridiculous controversy ever, and B, all of the worries that all of these white men on the internet were worried about, of how it wasn't canon with the universe or whatever, well, all of that was kind of squashed when the film came out, as stormtroopers are not the original clones that were based on Jango Fett. So they're just people that are kind of taken from their families and ripped away from them and then trained into, like, killers. So not only does it make like complete perfect sense that there's diversity within stormtroopers, it's also like, yeah, next time that you want to be racist about Star Wars, try somewhere else because no one wants to hear it. And I just think that it's really amazing that the leads are a woman and a black man. Good for you, Star Wars. Let's keep going in that direction and push it even more. Next thing that I want to talk about is the world of Star Wars and how it reflects us. The universe in which Star Wars takes place is made up. It's imagined. It's not a real place. But this place takes elements from our everyday lives and puts them in a fantasy universe. So there is real things from our societies and from our views that are embedded within the films. And if you have the power to make up an entire world, why is it that you would leave out any certain type of person? So here's what J.J. Abrams and Star Wars did. They put women of color everywhere. About 50% of people as background performers were women. Most of those women were women of color. Women were seen as villains with Captain Phasma. Women were seen as villains as part of the First Order. Women are everywhere. So here's the shift. Women are not really used as props in the background of this movie. Women are just a normal part of the universe because why would they not be? We have humans that are women. We have aliens that are women. We have lots of different races that are women. This seems like a no-brainer, but this is something that Star Wars did really, really well, and yes, should be praised, but we should also be expecting this of our films, right? Just as like a challenge to you. Go watch the new Star Wars film if you haven't already, and if you've, listened to this, then you've ruined it for yourself. But go see the new Star Wars film, and then go back and watch any of the Lord of the Rings films, and you'll, notice a huge difference. So just yay for Star Wars accepting that this is the world that we live in, so let's reflect that in our world. The next thing that I want to talk about, which is not necessarily what I liked about the film, but just like a conversation to have, is Kylo-Ren and his toxic masculinity. So the character of Kylo-Ren is still kind of shrouded in mystery. We don't really know much about the Knights of Ren. We don't really know what in his family life caused him to resort to the dark side. We don't really know, but a struggle between fighting the light. So the first time that I watched the film, because yes, I've seen it more than once, I really noticed with his character that he was just so teenager-y. So he's very impulsive, he's very angry all the time. He's still very relatively young. I don't know exactly how old his portrayal is supposed to be, but he's a very young person. And in the one particular scene where one of the First Order kind of goons comes to tell him that the droid has gotten away with the partial part of a map to Luke Skywalker, his reaction to just pull out his lightsaber and just destroy the ship's panel right there. I don't have his lightsaber, but just it's just kind of this is toxic masculinity in a nutshell. That whole weird destroying scene is pretty much exactly how internet trolls react to feminists saying anything ever, but specifically how they speak about Star Wars. It gives you a chuckle at first, but then it just makes you feel oh, why? Why does he have to feel that way? Ooh. So it's kind of hard to say whether or not this is sort of a stance that J.J. Abrams in Star Wars is taking on masculinity and how, because it's so toxic, it turns you into a Sith. It's kind of unclear at this point, but I just thought it was worth pointing out because it's one of the things that I really noticed right off the bat. That and the fact that Kylo-Ren, or Ben, thinks that violence is the way to make him better and make him stronger. So, big spoiler, killing his father is going to help him get forward and be a man, or be the man he wants to be. Or, talking to the helmet of Darth Vader is somehow going to help him fulfill something in his masculinity. It's just a very interesting take on what happens with young men. And I'm really interested to see how this further gets developed as the films go on. Some things that I didn't really see in the Star Wars films. I didn't really hear any mention of non-binary characters, of any trans characters. There wasn't very many women of color in leading roles. As always, heteronormativity is pretty rampant, and I would love to see us questioning that in the next couple films. Hopefully there's lots of room to grow with these films, but I'm honestly pretty excited. There is hope! A new hope. Really need to stop with the Star Wars puns. So yeah, I suppose on that note, I'm gonna end and go out in the snow with my warm jacket. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm really excited to have talked about Star Wars today, and I think I'm probably going to make another part to this video. This one I talked about like broad things that I noticed in the film, but I would love to dig into maybe like one specific character, one specific scene to really talk about it. The little nerd in me is so happy right now, and I'm probably gonna go plan my trip to see Star Wars for like the third time. I just wanted to give a really quick shout out to some of the amazing things that are happening online. Before I filmed this video, I actually participated in FemTube Chat, which was created by Rowan Ellis. She created FemTube Chat as a way for femme YouTubers to get together and talk about collaboration, talk about what it's like for us on the internet, and I'm honestly like so excited about it. I was like tweeting like mad, and like Twitter is still kind of new for me, so I was really blown away by the kindness of other people, by like the willingness to chat and be together, and I'm just really excited for the next one. So I just wanted to give a really great shout out for that. I'll see you all not next Friday, but the Friday after that, and thank you for waiting for a little bit for this video to come out. I appreciate you and your face. Make sure to give a thumbs up if you liked this video today. As always, if you like, you can subscribe and go there and da. May the Force be with you. Bye. Alright, what is this? Are you a Sith?